What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counter Punch Boxing News, and I have some new news, some more news concerning Conor Benn. Get this. Wow. Conor Benn is being investigated over claims that he failed another drug test earlier this year for some clomiphene substance, which saw his blockbuster fight with Chris Eubank Jr. canceled at the 11th hour last week. Conor Benn's positive test forced late cancellation of last Saturday's fight. Now it appears Benn previously tested positive for the same banned substance. The 26-year-old could face a lengthy ban from the ring over failed drug tests. Claim raised doubts over drug testing procedures by boxing British authorities. Conor Benn is being investigated over claims he failed a test prior to the one which he was forced the 11th hour cancellation of the last Saturday's night fight with Chris Eubank Jr. The damning claim will expand dramatically not only British boxing inquiries into the controversial last-minute cancellation, but also questions over the ability of the boxing British authorities to conduct effective drug testing procedures. That Benn now appears to have previously tested positive for what is claimed to be an identical drug which scuppered the fight makes a ban seem inevitable. One potential even longer than a customary 4-year suspension for a single violation, which could keep this 26-year-old out of the ring into his 30s. Let me counterpunch. Listen, this is huge. It's huge because this is the spotlight. Okay, we knew about Conor Benn recently. We didn't know shit about a previous failed test for the same thing. Okay? And this really this reminds me of, it's basically a carbon copy example of Jarrell Miller. And the irony of that is, it's how Eddie Hearn took it. His ass is being ran up the flagpole on the way he treated Jarrell Miller. He treated Jarrell Miller like shit, which he should have, but he should have understood that that shit could have happened because the amount of people now, 80 to 90% of the people that's on the elite level are drug users. That's what's rumored. That's not a fact. That's what's rumored, right? So, Eddie being Eddie, because that's not his fighter. Jarrell Miller wasn't his fighter at all. He just was a guy that was going to introduce Anthony Joshua into the U.S. market. Okay, that's the only thing. And he could, of course, talk his way out of a fucking police station. Jarrell Miller could. So he was a self-promoting fighter. I get it. But after he failed, and then he failed again, then Eddie went after him like it's this crazy, wild crusade to, hey, you need to owe me money, or I'm going as far as suing you over the money that you owe me because I wasted money on you and you knew you was a drug cheat. Now, though, people, we have Conor Benn testing positive before. But the million-dollar question is, where in the fuck was the notification? Why was it hidden? This was 3 weeks. That's already a problem. However, if he did that earlier this year, we're in October, okay? We're damn near in the middle of October, and if you telling me that Conor Benn already failed the test and nobody said shit, that meant somebody was told not to say shit. Somebody was paid off. Somebody was compensated. Somebody got the gag order, and they were taken care of. That's the only way. Now, all of a sudden, well, shit, now he's dirty. We might as well come out with all the other info. Because what's happening, investigations are exactly that. When you start looking at certain paperwork, which in this way, look, in this situation, this shouldn't even been a thing. But it is, and it's hard to really overlook this now, okay? The potential bombshell, let me keep reading. The potential bombshell also throws into doubt that the prospect of his multi-million pound fight going ahead at a later date, as promoter Hearn is hoping. One eminent source in world boxing, when pressed to confirm an undisclosed positive finding, said on condition of anonymity, yes, earlier this year, same stuff. Okay? It is crazy. Like, okay, that substance, clomiphene, was originally created as a fertility aid for women, but then used by men, is a powerful testosterone booster and a drugs massacre banned in all mainstream sports, Olympic athletics, and cycling included. The potential bombshell could make mockery of the out of matchroom of innocence by Benn and those around him. The fighter has declared himself a clean boxer. His trainer, Tony Sims, says that he is absolutely certain Conor is pure. But highly respected New York promoter Lou DiBella said this boy has been caught out and has been banned. No excuses. Further alarm bells are ringing because of the ongoing delay in reporting results of the B sample of Benn's failed test. Hearn has talked of how postponement of Eubank Benn at the weekend should have awaited confirmation of his fighter's positive A sample, but B tests require a request from the fighter hoping to clear his name. One expert close to the case said this has not happened with Benn, and that is the cause of the delay. However, that is not the case. Okay? He's been caught before. He's been now. They've already reported him. The same shit. You guys just heard. This is from the Daily Mail, okay? And this is by Jeff Powell of the Daily Mail. I will leave the link below since you guys, I don't want people to think, oh, you're making this shit up. I don't want to make this up. I wish it wasn't true, but it's coming from somewhere. But the question is, where did it all of a sudden come from? Right? Now, in the defense of Conor, you can say, well, you know, why is this shit coming up now? Well, that's what happens. When you get busted for things that you didn't even supposed to be doing in the first fucking place, other things start popping up. That's how it works, because what happens with sticklers and people of authority that actually wants to clear the name and get down to the nitty gritty, what they will do at that point, they will start looking at you further. And this is the reason for that. But the question is, it ain't Conor, though. Conor was taking this shit, but it's the people that make sure he don't take this shit. They should have, this fight shouldn't have happened. There should have been a Conor Eubank fight. Conor and Chris shouldn't have never fought. Why? Because he got popped before. Okay, so if they would have rectified it before, it's like sexual harassment at the workplace. You first start doing this shit, if you don't say nothing, it's going to continue. That's why they advise people, once it happens, you have to nip it in the bud right then. This is the same shit. That man had clomiphene in his system. We should have been notified and learned about it, but whoever was in charge of that positive finding should have been able and had enough integrity to send that to the right people to let him know that, hey, Conor has some shit in his system that he has to explain or he has to be banned or reprimanded for. Counterpunch. But this is crazy, man. This is jacked up. You know, same stuff. Failed another drug test earlier this year. You can't make this shit up, people. Tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And I'm going live. Bars!